The law of attraction is simple. Energy attracts like energy. Look around you, and you'll see that there are people like you, and you're attracted to them, and they're attracted to you. Now, this is not the same as karma. Karma is creating consequences with your choices. That means what you choose affects other people, and you yourself will be affected by them. The law of attraction is in effect. It's always operative. Karma, the impersonal, universal teacher of responsibility, is still in effect. Everything comes down to your choice. Trying to change the world will not change you. And, by the way, it won't change the world either. As you can see, the world is disintegrating. But what you are building is internal. It cannot crumble. You cannot lose authentic power because you are it when you create it. Welcome back. I'm really looking forward to this episode and this time with you. We're going to discuss the law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction just means energy attracts like energy. So whatever your energy is, expect it to be drawing others to it like you. Like in English, we have the saying, smile, and the world smiles with you. Also, grieve, and the world grieves with you. So what energy you choose to cultivate, whether it's love or it's fear, that's what attracts like energy to you. And it's a large arena that this applies to. For example, I can look back at the time when I was living in San Francisco, and I was intellectual, arrogant, impatient, and I was drawing to myself those people that I most felt attracted to, and they mirrored me, arrogant, intellectual, and impatient. And we'd gather every day in the Cafe Trieste in North Beach, San Francisco. And it would be full of people with different energies. Some of them would be sipping coffee and reading the paper. Others would be writing notes. Maybe others would be writing love letters. But we were discussing things about physics and feeling superior to the world. And we had that in common because like energy attracts like energy. Look around you, and you'll see that there are people like you, and you're attracted to them, and they're attracted to you. Now, this is not the same as karma. Karma is creating consequences with your choices. That means what you choose affects other people, and you yourself will be affected by them. But the law of attraction simply means that what you are feeling inside of yourself and the energy that you have about the world attracts others who are like you. I grew up in Kansas, and the state just next to us is Missouri. And on their license plates, they have the words, show me. It's the show me state. Show me, and then I'll believe it. Well, the law of attraction is just the opposite. You believe it when you see it. So you can see how powerful what you choose is, what you choose to experience inside yourself. That's not creating karma. Some people have asked me, am I creating karma when I'm hating somebody? Am I creating karma when I'm having violent fantasies? Am I creating karma when I'm judging other people? No, you're not. You are cultivating a frightened part of your personality, and that hurts. That's painful. You're thinking judgmental and painful thoughts, but you're not creating karma. However, you are attracting people to you who are in the same energy. It's necessary for you to experience the frightened parts of your personality, not casually, but deeply and intimately, in order to know what it is and challenge it, which means move beyond the control of it. So when you feel a frightened part of your personality, don't think that it's going to be a negative thing to try to avoid it. On the contrary, to create authentic power, it's necessary that you don't repress, suppress, or deny any emotion. Use your emotional awareness, which is a way of exploring it in every way possible. Physical sensations, its thoughts, and what you are experiencing. But none of this is creating karma. It's necessary to create authentic power. And so when you have a frightened part of your personality that's judging others, go deeply into it. Use your emotional awareness. Look inside your energy processing centers, such as your throat or your chest or your solar plexus. See what physical sensations you're feeling. And if you're in fear, there'll be painful physical sensations. Burning, aching, throbbing, stinging, stabbing. If you're in a loving part of your personality, they'll feel wonderful. And you'll be thinking thoughts of gratitude or appreciation or caring or contentment or awe of the universe. And when you're in a frightened part of your personality, you'll be thinking judgmental thoughts. Just the opposite: angry, resentful, competitive, judgmental, superior, inferior. All of these things comprise your internal landscape. And your internal landscape reaches out and it touches other people. It's not possible to be alone. You are never alone. Your energy always reaches other people and touches them. And their energy always touches you. What kind of energy do you want to touch other people with? That you're hopeless and in despair? That nothing is going right and nothing ever will? That you're really in a depression and you don't even care about it anymore? Is that what you want to touch people with? Is that what you want to, so to speak, caress them with? How would you like to be touched by that? Well, whenever you are, you get away from it as soon as you can, because you realize that people who are depressed are soaking up energy. They're not contributing it. They're draining it from you. If you have a higher frequency than they do, they're pulling on your frequency of energy. They're pulling it downward toward theirs. This is not conscious on their part, and it's not negative. It's simply a matter of less pulling for more. And when you're in joyful parts of your personality, you're in a place of more giving to more giving to less, giving to the world. In other words, when you're contributing, you're in a high frequency energy. And when you're exploiting, you're in a low frequency energy. And you're drawing to you people who, like you, are either contributing or exploiting. The law of attraction is always showing you, by looking around you and seeing the people who are attracted to you, what you are showing that is attractive to them. It's the same. You're always looking at a mirror, you might say. But this mirror is especially helpful. Well, now that we're talking about karma, I'd like to go into it a little more deeply. To create authentic power requires choosing between love and fear. And once you can, choosing love. Well, what does that mean? What is the choice, actually? In the Earth School, action is the choice. The action you take is the choice. So you hear people saying, choose love, or you want to choose love yourself. That's not enough simply to want to choose love or to think about choosing love. If you're thinking about choosing love, you've already convinced yourself that you don't have it. When you're loving, you don't have to choose love. You are love. Action is the decision. Action is the choice in the Earth School. This is a domain of fusing energy with matter. And the energy is always either love or fear. When you make a choice to act with love or fear, you infuse your action or your words with that quality of consciousness. And when you make a choice to speak or act in fear, you infuse your word or your action with that consciousness. But that infusion takes place when you act. The Earth School is a domain of action. You can think about it. In fact, as you think about it, you put yourself in a position to be able to choose between love and fear. And this is called temptation. A temptation is a dress rehearsal for a negative karmic event. Let's talk about that in another episode. But when you are entertaining a temptation, it's as though you are in the last stages of a production, a stage production. You've learned the lines, you've learned the blocking, everyone else has learned their lines, you've rehearsed them, you're dressed for it, and a frightened part of your personality is showing you exactly what it's planning to do and what it will do if you don't choose otherwise. In that process, you are still not creating karma. But when you choose, when you speak, when you act on that fantasy, the doors to the theater are wide open and the public comes in. And that is the moment when your choice spills out of your private energy field and into the energy sphere of others. That is the moment when karma is created. That is the moment when energy becomes matter. That is the choice. In this case, the choice of fear. Because you have been witnessing what a frightened part of your personality is planning to do. Until that moment, you have not affected your karma. But you are indulging a frightened part of your personality. When you indulge a frightened part of your personality unconsciously, you merge with it. In other words, the part of you that's judging others becomes you. You are the one who is judging. You are the one who is despairing. You are the one who cannot pull yourself out of a depression. But you are not in the depression. One part of your personality is a frightened part of your personality. And you can choose to look at your experiences from a loving part, a part that is grateful or appreciative, or all of those things that I mentioned earlier. And when you do, your energy begins to change. And as it changes, you change. And as you change, you begin to draw others to you. Not who are depressed as you were, but who are more grounded or comfortable with themselves as you are becoming. All of this is another way of saying you are a powerful and creative, compassionate, and loving spirit. And these are different ways of also saying there is always one choice presented to you, love or fear. And depending upon that choice, you shape a great deal in your life. You shape your internal experiences. You learn from them. You learn from them that you can change them because they do not need to control you. That's what you learn. As you learn about the frightened parts of your personality, they don't go away. They don't stop thinking their judgmental and critical thoughts. But they don't control you any longer. Their influence begins to roll off of you like water off of you in the shower. And as you challenge them, they begin to lose their control over you. And as they lose their control over you, your internal landscape changes. How can that happen? Because you are not different from your awareness. Your awareness and the object of awareness are not different. They are one. There are so many ways to say the same thing. Here's another way. Every perception reveals the structure of the perceiver. You are the perceiver. What you are perceiving is yourself, not someone else. So when you're frightened, when you're jealous, look at what you are experiencing. That's necessary for you to create authentic power. Use your emotional awareness. Look at your energy processing centers. And then use your volition to move your attention into a loving part of your personality. And then choose to act or speak from that personality while you're experiencing the frightened part. That is the moment of creating authentic power. And that's also the moment of you changing. changing, and also of you creating karma. All of this is one fabric. That fabric is not a thing. That fabric is not a substance. That fabric is not even a cloth. That fabric is love. Love is what the universe is, and love is what you are. So how can you be love and hate somebody? How can you be love and want to kill yourself? The frightened parts of your personality and their painful physical sensations and their judgmental thoughts are themselves love. You might say they are love masquerading as fear. Everything in the Earth School is love. Your awareness of the frightened parts of your personality is an experience of the universe bringing your attention to a part of your personality that you must experience fully and move beyond the control of in order to give the gifts that you were born to give. You cannot give the gifts you were born to give while you're resentful, jealous, angry, despairing, competitive, feeling superior or inferior. When you are in fear, there's no love. But when you are in love, there's no fear. Fear and love are the two mutually balancing energies, mutually exclusive energies in the Earth School. The circumstance you are always moved toward in the Earth School is one requiring a choice. And this happens moment after moment after moment, and the choice is always the same. It's love or fear. This is the nature of the Earth School. Your curriculum is love. Your class is choice. You are a chooser. You cannot stop choosing. Whatever you are feeling, whether it's boredom, whether it's lethargy, whether it's mania, whether it's despair, if you're not aware of it, it's acting through you, and it's creating consequences in your life. As you become aware of it, you become able to create real power, not to change the world by manipulating it or controlling it, but by becoming familiar with the internal dynamics in you that are creating your physical sensations and your thoughts, and learning how to change them. When you change them, then you stop spinning your wheels. You can spend another lifetime, this one or others, trying to change the world to make yourself feel better. And the best you can get from that is temporary relief from pain. When a frightened part of your personality gets what it wants, it's happy. But that changes, and then it's not happy anymore. When you create authentic power, you transform yourself, and you ignite within yourself joy. Joy is not dependent on the outside world, the way happiness is dependent on the outside world. You are learning to create joy. You have within you, and in fact, you are the new consciousness. All of these podcasts bring to your attention the reality that a new consciousness is now transforming our entire human species. It's unlike any before, and it's happening very fast, within a few human generations. And we are in the midst of that transition. All of these dynamics within the Earth School are still in effect. The law of attraction is in effect. It's always operative. Karma, the universal teacher of responsibility, the impersonal universal teacher of responsibility, is still in effect. There is no place in the universe where it is not. Karma is one of the few absolute truths that I can share with you, and there aren't many. By that, I mean it's true not only for you, but for every form of life in the universe. There is not one that is not responsible for how it chooses to use its energy. Everything comes down to your choice. And we'll keep exploring what that everything is in future podcasts and how you use your awareness. Your awareness is different. Your potential is now different. Your capabilities are now different. But you must use them in order to change yourself. That is creating authentic power. Trying to change the world will not change you. And by the way, it won't change the world either. As you can see, the world is disintegrating. Our social structures are disintegrating. All of the things that we depended upon for structure in the outside world are crumbling because they're all built on external power. But what you are building is internal. It cannot crumble. You cannot lose authentic power because you are it when you create it. I'm looking forward to speaking with you again. But before I leave, I want to give you a soul step. I want you to look at what you are experiencing when you realize that you're exploring a frightened part of your personality, and what you're experiencing when you realize that you are able to cultivate a loving part of your personality. And then ask yourself, which of those two experiences would you like to share with other people? Because they feel them. When you're depressed, they feel your depression. When you are buoyant with love, they feel your buoyancy. Which do you want to share? The reverse of that is, what do you want to experience as other people's energy touches you? Write these things down and then make your own conclusions about what you want to do with the awareness that you are now experimenting with. I'm looking forward to speaking with you again. I'm Gary Zukav.